Today is March 27th, 2014, and you're listening to I Think You Think.
Yep.
I'm Justin.
He is.
This is
James.
And way over there we've got
Cassandra.
Cassandra is joining us while Sequoia is on vacation this week, right? Yeah, there we go.
That's what we said last week, so let's stick with that story.
So she is on vacation. It's 2 weeks she's been gone.
Yep.
We're not even sure if she's still alive, but we're going to just keep operating like she's coming back next week. So there you go.
We'll see what happens.
We're a weekly topical podcast, and we focus on what we think, but also what you think. So if you would like to take part, and feel free to contact us on Facebook, and our email, and all of the stuff is on our website, ithinkyouthink.com. We even have a blog that I never do as often as I'd like to. I've gotten down to about twice a month now. I need to do more. Sorry. Anyway, we are I Think You Think, and we are produced by StolenArts Productions. We are talking about
Game of Thrones.
Indeed. Yay. Yep. Before, though, we will talk about, because we didn't last week, what's been going on in our lives. So, starting with our the person who is joining us this week, Cassandra.
Hi.
Cassandra or Cass?
Cassandra's good.
Cassandra's good.
Yes.
Okay, so what has been going on in your life?
Selling some houses. Keeping busy with that. Raising 2 kids. That keeps you busy.
What?
Sometimes.
No.
Contrary to sitcoms.
You know, hey, not everything is solved in half an hour.
You're just not solving the
Spoiler.
right problems.
Spoiler, right?
Right. Like, we're out of milk. I got this.
Right.
Nice. And you had just sold a house today, right?
I did.
That was
Yeah.
a week ago, actually, Justin.
A week ago.
Oh.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Wow, you're really losing track of time.
Wow.
Excellent. I just know my only experience with buying and or selling houses is only buying, and it's the one that we purchased, and we didn't really do anything other than like show up and sign stuff.
Sign tons and
So-
tons and tons of papers.
Yeah. I remember a lot of signatures.
Right.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Yep. James, what's been going on with you? You been buying any houses?
No, not selling any either. Well, one thing that I know you two have been doing in the last real week, but not this week, the week before, is watching a lot of Game of Thrones.
Indeed.
Because although I had been watching it as it's kind of come out, you guys played catch up in like a week, which is really impressive. That's a lot of episodes. Beyond that,
37
yep,
episodes.
it's true.
Right.
I went and saw. I recently had a couple family birthdays. My mom's was this past Monday in our time, not your time, so a week ago for you guys. And then my brother's was a couple days before that. So I got to see them, spend time with them. Me and my mom went and saw the new Captain America. That's been out forever, but it was really good. Beyond that, work, sleep.
I've seen Captain America. I need to go see
Spider-Man
Thank you. And then X-Men actually comes out
in a couple days, few days.
It
No,
came
23rd.
out this week. It comes out,
Yeah.
last week, basically, it already came out.
Right. At this stage, it will have been out.
Exactly. And we're going to be talking about that the end of next month. So
Yes.
last episode of next month, we are talking about those 3 movies in the Marvel Universe. Sequoia should be back by then, crossing our fingers.
Theoretically.
We don't know. Could be in Antarctica. Have no idea.
Yeah.
Sequoia, if you are watching this, please send us an email.
Yeah.
Actually, if anybody's watching this, send us an email.
Be the first.
Be the first person to email us.
Not really. That's not true.
No, people do contact us, and we appreciate all of them. It's a lot of fun. And believe it or not, when you email us, when you message us on Facebook, like, it's us that you talk to. It's not like
Our representatives.
yeah. So if
The
you really
dozens of interns.
if you really want to ask James why he likes to wear pants or doesn't wear pants on any given episode, which you wouldn't know if you're just listening to the podcast, go over to YouTube to check out the vidcast.
If you're watching, the only reason why this laptop's here is because I may not be wearing pants.
Indeed. You never know. Anyway, yeah, not a lot of things going on for me. I've watched a lot of Game of Thrones. I was averaging 5 to 6 episodes a day in the last 6 or 7 days. The last push, these last 2 days. I think today I probably watched
The better part of a season.
Yeah, it was a lot. And I watched the last one over here.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. And so, yes, Cassandra and I have, it's more fresh in our minds than it will necessarily be for you.
For sure.
But this was kind of a topic you were sort of interested in. It was kind of a last minute sort of, we did this topic. I don't know where we're really going to start. There's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to kind of go over. So where would you want to start?
Well, would you recommend it? Would you tell someone else to watch it like I kind of suggested to
Absolutely.
both of you?
For sure.
I honestly, while I was at work over the last couple of days, I've been asking people at work, do you watch Game of Thrones? Do you watch Game of Thrones? Because I was looking for somebody to talk about with it, you know.
Yeah.
The thing that started me watching Walking Dead a year-ish ago was my boss at my previous store that I was at watched it along with one of the other associates that worked there, and so it became a thing that every week they would want to talk about it, and so I got caught up on it and started watching it because of that.
Right.
It was one of those that I knew I sort of would probably like, I just never had gotten around to watching it. And so, yeah, so I've been asking a lot of people, hey, do you watch Game of Thrones? I want to talk to somebody about it.
And a surprising number of people are like, no.
Yeah, that's true.
There,
So,
you get that answer, or the, you know, everybody's been saying I would like that, or everybody has
Right,
been saying I
yeah.
should watch it. But yeah, no, I more people should. If you haven't seen it, get it and watch it. And one of the things they boast about, my wife was telling me about this, HBO actually boasts about this, that it is the most illegally downloaded TV show of all time.
wow.
Yeah, and you would think
Well,
HBO would be like up in arms about it.
Well, they're probably still trying to stop it, but it is a sign of its popularity.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, it's like an add-on to ratings,
Right.
pretty
right.
much.
Yep.
There's a bunch of people that don't have HBO. I mean, we all have it, so we're able to just watch it. But some people don't and can't.
Right. And HBO at least they stream basically all their shows, don't they?
Yeah, I know, because we have the same cable provider. Actually, all three of us do. And everything that's available on HBO Go is available on our cable providers
On demand.
on demand,
Oh, okay.
which is
All right.
like all their back catalog, like a ton more movies than you'd normally get than we got before they opened that up. So, yeah, I mean, it's all right there, though. Would you have any criticisms about it? Is there anything, having just watched it all, that you'd be like, I don't like that, or they could have done this better?
No, I don't think so. I think everything, the cast is phenomenal. I can't get over how well all the parts are played by everyone. I mean, it just is amazing for me.
Yeah, I know that one of the characters, I don't know what the actor's name is. He's actually right here.
Peter Dinklage.
Okay,
Tyrion
yeah, he
Lannister.
plays Tyrion.
Lannister.
I want to keep saying
You
Lancaster.
just watched like
I
470 hours.
I'm really
or
bad.
something.
I'm really bad with names though. So, but Lannister. I keep wanting to say Lancaster because we have these caramels at work called Lancasters, and so
So you have trouble separating reality from fiction?
yeah, a lot of times. In
Or-
fact, in preparation for this, I did bring my sword, because I was a little worried.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
This-
did tell him, just like George R.R. Martin's writing, you never know who's going to die.
you
So
don't. So
This
And
episode's
this
following
is actually
that.
sharp. This will.
You'll find out how sharp it is later.
Yep, indeed. But
I was talking to you, not them.
Oh, sorry. No, this is actually the sword from my wife and I's wedding. All of our groomsmen had these swords, and all of the bridesmaid had swords like this. They were just a little smaller. So we had swords at our wedding.
And then there was a giant massacre at the end, or
Yeah.
Oh,
I
good.
mean, I think that's what you're supposed to do.
yeah.
You
Like
get
it's-
rid of that couple relatives that nobody really likes.
Right.
Uncle
Nobody
Bob.
Nobody really had a problem with it.
The
So
people who didn't bring gifts and stuff.
yeah.
Chili's gift card. Really, Uncle Bob?
Here, we brought your card. There's no money here.
Yeah. Get him.
No, actually, the actor who plays this constantly, while he's a dwarf.
Yes.
But I always forget he's such a big character
Yeah.
that you forget that he is like
Right.
he does a great job of like really being more than being the dwarf, you know.
Oh, yeah. He is a fantastic actor, and this is proof of it. I mean, he's one of those, like you were saying, the great casting and their ability. You know, the most recent episode we all just watched, because the week between us recording this and it getting released, there is no episode, so it's going to be the same, which is actually kind of nice. But just, there's a conversation he has And by the way, if you haven't watched Game of Thrones, you need to stop this now because there's going to be spoilers galore over the next half an hour.
I was just about to say
For
we
sure.
haven't actually hit any spoilers yet, but
well, here
be
we go.
prepared. Any
So,
more?
Stop now. Okay, so he's in prison because Joffrey got killed and they're accusing him, and it's pretty much obvious he doesn't. But when he gets visited in prison by Prince Oberlin, like the last person to visit him, that says he'll be his champion, like that whole scene, like just it's an up close on his face as he's hearing the story about how he's treated as a young child and everything. Stellar.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it was amazing.
Because he's a dwarf, he's going to get limited in the parts he can get. You know, he's never going to be up for the same part as Bruce Willis. It's just unfortunate.
Right.
But if he wasn't, his acting ability, he could go up against anybody.
Mm-hmm.
He's incredible. He's fantastic. And he's just one of many.
He's definitely one of my favorite characters.
Definitely.
In the entire show. And I hate the Lannisters. Like, I hate that family. Each one of the characters have, like, little redeeming qualities. But overall, like, I don't like that
Except for
family.
Joffrey.
Yeah, Joffrey was kind of an ass. Even
of?
I thought, huh?
Kind of?
Just a little bit.
He was pretty one-dimensional.
Yeah. Now the Lannisters though aren't related to the Mad King, right? They didn't actually carry the blood of the Mad King.
I don't think so. I think they married into that family. I don't know the lineage and how exactly it works. Was the Mad King the last Targaryen? I think he might have
That's
been
what
the last Targaryen.
I thought the Mad King was Targaryen, yeah.
Yes.
But I apologize, we don't know a lot of the backstory. For those that don't know, there's probably few and far between. These are based on a very comprehensive series of books. There are, because of that, a lot of characters that are merged or simply left out. Complete storylines that aren't in the show. Because the show, we'd probably, even though we're 47 episodes in, or 37 episodes in, we'd probably still be in the first book.
Right.
You know?
Well, that's the.
And Ned Stark would just be about to lose his head.
That's a big drawback to the whole. Whenever you're trying to take something from a book into a film, there's so much more you have to tell that you can tell very quickly in a book that you have to do a lot more of in a movie.
And George R.R. Martin even more so.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a pretty avid reader, and I read like 2.5 of the books, and then I broke away to read another book, because I'll do that sometimes if I know it's a quick read and I'm just going to read it really quick. And I came back, and there was so much going on in his books, I couldn't just pick up in the middle of the book. I'm like, I think I have to start at the beginning of book 1.
Yeah.
And like gain momentum again.
Yeah.
With all these massive characters. I mean, the show doesn't do it justice. I mean, the show's awesome. I'm not saying in that way, but the number of moving parts that George R. R. Martin put together in the books. But given that, I feel like a lot of those little pieces of information, like who is the Mad King exactly,
right,
kind of slip through the gaps a little bit because it's not a character you see on the screen.
Right.
You know?
And that's actually a big drawback to movies and film most of the time. The more characters you have, the more complicated it becomes. I don't know if it's just something about reading. You don't get lost in massive amounts of characters when you read something rather than, and I don't know, at least I don't, like if I read something with a massive amount of characters, I don't tend to have as much problem differentiating them rather than when you watch it on screen. Maybe it's because it's just coming at you so fast. It becomes more difficult to always keep them in place. So,
well, speaking of Joffrey and him kind of being that kind of one, I mean, he's not really a one-dimensional character, but he is just bad. There's nothing redeeming about Joffrey
at all.
Like, even his mother states, like, I knew how messed up he was.
And he shocked me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Cersei does not get shocked very easily. It's true. She's a very hardened woman through all the stuff that her family's been through. But I feel like there's only a handful of characters that have been introduced in the TV show at all that fit that kind of niche, that don't hold some reach towards the other side of the spectrum. You know? I think him, Ramsay Snow.
Oh, okay. That is one messed up dude.
That dude. Man.
There is something wrong up there.
To that actor, because he pulls it off. So, like, again, with the casting. Like, like, if I ever saw him, I'd be like, don't talk to that guy. Like, seriously.
Oh, that's the one who's got
who has Reek.
Theon Greyjoy, yeah.
Yes, he's trapped.
Theon Greyjoy, yeah. My name is Reek. I've always been Reek.
Yeah.
And took Theon's penis. So, yeah. That was awful. I was actually afraid that they were going to show more of it, and I'm really happy that they
Yeah, I thought
faded
they were
that
going to
out.
show inside of the box, which made me nervous.
Oh,
It's HBO.
I know.
so
But I think on the other side, Jon Snow, I feel like everything he's done for the right reasons so far.
okay.
I mean, except maybe leaving the Wilding woman. But even that, I mean, I don't know.
See,
I don't think they're ever clear about his motivations
Yeah,
for that
that's-
and
that
why
was-
he did it.
That was the problem that I had. Like, I liked his storyline until, like, he broke off from the Wildings. I mean, it makes sense because he's got some strong loyalty to the Starks, and to the people of the North, not the northern of the north of the Wall. But I thought that he actually cared about the Wilding woman that he was with.
And I think he does. Yeah,
definitely.
I think he does for sure, but I don't think he had a choice at that point because he had already shown his disloyalty to them.
Yeah.
And I think if he would have stayed with her, they would have just...
Right, but I thought that she made it pretty clear that
She would go with.
she would go with him if he left.
Yeah.
And so that's why I was actually sort of... I felt my heart, like, almost broke for her. Like, when she was shooting him with the arrows, and she was... tears. I mean, she was just crying.
Yeah.
I was like, I felt so bad. I was like, just kill him. Like, I hope you kill him with one of those arrows, because I was pissed.
Yeah.
I was like, he left you. Like, he could have taken you with him.
Right.
You know.
But taking her where? Was he going to take her back to the wall?
Well, see, that was the problem. I didn't know he was trying to go back to the Night's Watch.
Right.
I thought he was just trying to get back south to help the Starks or whoever, because the one thing that's really great. I don't know if it's in the books. I assume so, but in the movies, there's so much interplay and drama because there's things going on in other parts of the world that certain characters have no idea.
Right.
Even more so in the books.
Okay.
Like, that is overarching theme in the books. That there's, like, the whole world, like, there's so much stuff going on. Like, they're crazy. They're really good, and I will get back to reading them at some point. But staying on that line, well, I think for that situation with Jon Snow, and I wish I could remember her name, but whatever her name is, I think until, if ever, they meet again, you'll never quite know. Like, and that will, if ever they do meet again, then it'll probably get explained at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll have an idea. But I think so far, like, I trust his motivations all the time.
Okay.
I don't feel like he's got kind of that middling side reaching towards the darkness or reaching towards the light. You know, I'm just, overall, though, and then Brand is the only other one that I can think of, but he's very young.
Yeah.
But everyone else, like, I feel like whether they're good or bad, they're not one dimensional, and there's more
Right.
stuff going on.
Right.
Which just lends to the depth of characters that he writes and the depth of character they're rewriting into the script, and then the ability for all these various actors to play those parts.
Yeah, there's a lot of empathy for any of the characters, even characters that in the first season, which I watched 5 days ago, that at the beginning, like, you were like, these are awful, horrible characters. I mean, like
Jamie Lannister is a really good example.
Is a perfect example.
Right. Yeah.
Every single one of these characters has a growth curve to them. They have this they change over time. That's maybe one of the reasons why I don't like Jon Snow as much. Like, I appreciate the fact that he's very, like...
Are you anticipating he's going to make that turn?
I don't know. I don't really see so much of a growth curve to him. Like, he's pretty much who he has been the whole time.
Yeah. I can see that. But he's been through a lot. But he's been consistent in a world where most people aren't as well.
It's true.
He's not one of my favorite characters. I'm just saying that, like, as far as that goes, and being on one side of the spectrum or the other, he's one of the few.
Ah, I see what you're saying. Okay. But, I mean, likewise, the one character you haven't seen a lot of growth for the last few seasons is Daenerys.
Oh, sorry.
Daenerys Targaryen.
She's had a lot of growth.
She's had a lot of growth at the beginning, when she went from her brother's younger sister into, growing with what was his name?
When she became
Kalal.
Khaleesi.
What was that?
When she became the Khaleesi.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
She had some huge growth in there, which
Right.
my wife told me, and maybe you can kind of speak to. In the books, she wasn't raped the way they kind of portrayed in the movies.
Right.
I do not remember, like, having watched so much of the TV show, it's kind of overwritten my memory of the
Okay.
books.
Yeah, I actually had someone tell me that the other day, is that in the book, he doesn't come at her like he does
Yeah.
in the show,
Yeah.
and that it was kind of more of a developing love
Yes.
than just I'm overpowering you and you're my wife type
Right.
of situation. Yeah.
And that was the only thing that I didn't like about their relationship, the two of them. I grew to love their relationship. I thought it was beautiful.
Oh, yeah,
I
me
loved
too.
it so much.
Yeah.
But I hated that beginning, and that turn
Right.
for her. It just seemed unnatural.
Right.
It seemed very concocted for
Right.
writers to do that. And so when my wife told me, I was like, okay, well, that makes sense. Like, it
Exactly.
makes more sense that way. But lately, I mean, she hasn't had as much growth. She's had huge growth over the course of this entire series. But lately, she's been very one-minded.
See, I would argue in like the last 2 episodes,
Yeah.
and when she made the decision to stay and rule as opposed to continue on her journey,
Instead of going to Westeros.
Oh, okay.
like
Yeah.
it's more of an intentional growth.
I see what you're saying.
But I mean, it's just the different. you know.
I would say that the last few episodes in this last season, because I've watched so much, I haven't been paying as much attention to the last few episodes. Like, I've been doing other things because I can't just. I mean, you're talking 37 hours worth of
Right.
footage, to watch.
You don't have that kind of time?
Yeah, I know,
What?
right? And so I hadn't picked up on the fact
Your
that
daughter's like, Daddy, give me 35 more hours.
go away.
I'll be with you a week from Tuesday.
But yeah, no, I mean, I hadn't picked up on the fact that she was sticking around. I thought she was using that city as kind of a launching point to head back to Westeros. Is that
Right.
Yeah,
That's the city where like all the Lannisters are right now,
Okay?
or the land. I haven't really studied a map. Okay, so favorite character or characters who really jumps out at you?
If you want to start with their least favorite, you can do that too, because sometimes that's easier.
My least favorite is gone. Thank God. Joffrey. He was my least favorite.
It's an easy one to be
I
the
was
least
so
favorite
happy.
too.
Although
Oh,
I
yeah.
think his death should have been more torturous and
I'm
drawn
pissed.
out.
I'm pissed that
and-
Arya couldn't kill
Yeah.
her. Nice.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, I think my favorite characters for sure are Arya and the Hound right now.
I
The
agree.
relationship that they have going on is awesome.
It's so great.
And she is just, I love her. I just love her. So the fact that she is so ballsy for being so young and
Yeah.
just so determined.
hmm
So yeah, it's great.
I like her too. I was telling you before that the only thing I don't like about their storyline is I'm ready for Arya to like just be. I want her to get that coin to the guy so that the guy from Davros,
Something like that, yeah.
something like that, will come and train her how to be an assassin
Right.
in the like Dark Brotherhood type thing.
Right.
If we could go towards Elder
Yeah.
Scrolls, like, because I want her to be badass, and
Yeah.
she's just not there yet.
Yeah.
Like, she is.
She is pretty
For her-
badass.
for her age and
I
every-
know, that's
yeah.
the thing. You keep forgetting that she's only what? I mean, she's like 9 or 10 or something?
She's
mean,
about
she's
that
young,
age.
yeah.
Because I've been thinking whenever I see her, as my son is 9,
Right.
and he's my eldest, and he's 9, and I keep thinking, if he was in that situation, would he have survived?
Right.
Would he have been able to do this?
Right.
And so that I like that character. I'm ready for her to just become like really good with a sword. You expect her to be really good,
Right.
and she's not really good. Like, which I guess is good because that entire world, even though it's set in a fantasy setting, even though there's dragons, there's magic and things like that, a lot of times you forget that takes place. It
Yeah.
seems so real and dirty and grimy
Yeah.
that you forget that. Yeah, I mean, a 9-year-old going up against a relatively well-trained soldier is probably, just because she's had some good sword fighting ability, isn't going to necessarily be able to do very much.
Well, she doesn't have the experience that the Hound has. I mean, the Hound
Right.
is, and she's she's like his little squire in a way right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and
But
that's
I-
where the heart is. Like,
And I
seriously.
love that his name is still on her list, though. Like that last scene where she's going to sleep and she's saying all the names. And
And-
he's telling her to shut up. And then she turns over and says there's one more name. And she says the Hound. And he just looks at her and is like, yes.
Yeah, and it's like he doesn't care. It's like, that's
Right.
great. Like, I
Yeah.
respect that
Yeah.
about her.
yeah.
And a beautiful scene was when they got accosted by the two little crummy little guys. The Hound got bit on the neck. I
Right.
think that was in
yeah,
the last.
that was,
Yeah.
yeah, episode
Um,
7.
he, he asks her, "Is this guy on your list?" And she's like, "I don't know his name." And he's like, "Hey, what's your name?"
Yeah.
She's like, "Thanks." Ugh.
And then he's just happy that she learned where the heart was.
Right.
Yeah. Like, hey,
And then just turn and walk away. Like,
Yeah. You're learning.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some of my favorite characters as well.
yeah,
Tyrion was mentioned earlier.
yep.
He's a great character. Those are the ones that jump out. Like whenever they're on screen, I like Prince Oberyn. I feel like I really like that story arc, although I feel like it's just the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
The one who took up as the champion.
Yep.
For him. I feel like I don't know if he's going to beat the Mountain in the next episode or not.
Yeah.
But
the tiny little clip they had, he's got a stick, a spear, you were saying. I'd said, oh, he's got a stick. But it's like a bow staff type thing. I assume that there's probably a pointy end on it because
and he seems to know how to use it.
Yeah.
And it was only maybe half a second worth of footage, but it looked cool. So it looks like it's going to be a big event, not like the fight also for Tyrion that took place at the Sky Palace.
Where he
or
just like
something
kicks him down the hole.
Yeah.
And it's just like
Yeah.
So it looks like it'll be a much more big event. So I'm looking forward to that next week. Oh man, favorite characters other than the ones that we've kind of mentioned.
I don't like Sansa.
No, yeah, her story.
I feel like if she would just stand up for herself once, I could like her as a character. And I understand it's probably a dynamic of her character, but she like never stands up for herself ever. And it's just like, great characters that would have died.
Yeah.
And she's still there like simpering and whining. But that's just me.
It is an element to her character. I mean, if you think about where she's been during this entire war, during everything. I mean, her father was killed, and she hasn't seen any members of her family since.
Yeah, but she started out like that too. I don't know if you remember, but even in the first season when they're all alive and well and up at Winterfell, and they talk about Sansa marrying the king. She has a discussion with her mother where she's very whiny and she's just, I want to be a queen. I want to be a queen.
Yeah.
So I think from the beginning, she was just a spineless.
just the privileged oldest daughter.
Right, exactly. Yeah, entitled to, and now that she's getting the short end of the stick of everything, she's just being a bitch.
Yeah, she never really grew. Ygritte is Jon Snow's wife or girlfriend or whatever.
Yes.
Ygritte. That's how,
Ygritte.
Ygritte. Yeah.
Like, as much as Ramsay is crazy, he is I like him as a character because he plays it so well. It's hard. It's compelling. Whenever he's on, you're like, oh shit, what's he going to do now?
That's
True.
Yeah.
That is true.
Like, he's very well played. I don't think you can, I can't overstate how well all these different parts were cast.
Yeah, there really
Brienne,
isn't.
I like Brienne.
The
too.
honestly,
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah.
She
honestly,
really is.
in my opinion, the weakest actor that I've seen in the entire show is the actress that plays Shay. Is probably the weakest actress that I've seen on the entire show. I don't know if it's just the way she delivers lines, but they sound.
See, I wouldn't agree with that. I like myself personally, I wouldn't put her at the top, but I never felt like there was something missing there.
I like the dynamic of Tyrion and her. Like, I loved them as a couple. They were really cute together. It's just, I don't know. It's something about how she delivers the lines. They sound like she's speaking lines as opposed to the other ones.
Almost forced.
Yeah. Like she's reading them off of a.
But I think I think that's supposed to be part of her character because she's speaking a language that isn't her native language.
Fair enough.
I could be wrong.
Yeah.
That's just, people watch it. That's how they go. I want to find, there is the one, the leader of the Second Sons who got replaced from third season to fourth season. And I would presume it's probably because he was not a good enough actor to pull it off.
It's
Or
possible.
Maybe he went in a different direction or something.
Possible. But you think they would lock him down for a couple seasons for a character like that they knew was going to be there. So I would assume it was the show's choice to get rid of
I
him.
don't know. Yeah. If anybody's researched it and knows, let us know.
Yeah, send us
here
an
it is.
email or something.
Dario.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, because it was Ed Screen in season 3, and now it's Michelle Huisman. It doesn't say like why they replaced him though.
Yeah, because I really liked last season's character.
Yes.
Actor, I should
Yep.
say. I thought he fit the part much better. He played it better, I feel, than this season's actor.
Yeah, the one they have now, while the first one was also attractive, the two of them are attractive in different ways.
Exactly, yes.
And I liked the way the first one looked.
Right.
The second one looks too masculine-y, like
Right.
very, very attractive.
Right. Agreed.
And
Yeah.
I liked the way the other one looked.
Right.
He almost looked sleazebaggy.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I thought that worked well for the second Sons, whereas this guy looks more pirate, like prince looking, and that
Absolutely.
I don't think works very
Which
well.
is
for the character.
might be why too she's sending him off to do, I mean, I don't know. I haven't read the book, so I don't know if his character is coming back or whatever, but
Yeah. He gave up the role because he got the lead in Transporter 4, which will probably be a classic.
He got what?
He got
He
the lead in
gave it up.
I already went
that's
back.
what you just
Yeah,
read.
he gave up the role to the new guy because he got the lead in Transporter 4.
Transporter?
Yeah.
Oh my
Like
gosh.
Jason Statham movies.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, lucky you, I guess.
It's going to be right up there with Hook.
Well,
Inside jokes,
All
all
right.
right? Everybody
Well,
else in the world.
yeah.
Uh,
Okay. Well, I guess you got to make those calls.
So I know there were a lot of complaints about there being too much sex in the show, especially when it first came out. But I feel like the first and probably second season, although it's been a while, I feel like there was a lot more of it than there has been, especially in the fourth season, and I believe in the third. Now, they haven't removed it. It's
Right.
still
but
there.
They've definitely toned it down. Yeah,
Right,
for
right.
sure.
And I don't know if it was really over the top. I could see where it'd be over the top for some people. But it's not like it was Caligula. You know what I mean?
I don't think it was over the top. I just think I felt like almost every episode it was like, here's another sex scene. Here's
Yeah.
another.
Look at our boobies.
Right. Yeah. So
Well,
I'm glad that they've toned it down.
my thought was that, and I had said this to you, it's like nobody's unattractive in this world. There's
Right.
very
Well, it's
few.
TV.
Anybody who takes their clothes off in this
Right,
world is
yeah.
is not unattractive.
But
Right.
it's TV.
Well, right, I understand that. Like, I get the concept. But at the same time, to me, when I saw it, I was always thinking, well, what a world to live in.
Right.
You know, like
Yeah.
I would, aside from the fact that you could at any moment be slaughtered because you pissed somebody off along the
Well,
way.
thank God the, cheap prostitute that I slept with last night was stunningly attractive since
Yeah.
I'm going to die today.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a consolation prize.
And honestly, like, of all the characters, of all of the different, like, kings and princes and people shoveling muck in the middle of the street, of all the people that I felt like, well, the safest person to ever be, it was the prostitutes. Like, I was like, you never see anything bad happen to them until Joffrey got a hold of one or two
yeah.
of them.
Right.
They
Yeah.
they had the perfect life. I mean, they had sex with people and they got paid for it, and they weren't caught up in this, like, everybody killing each other.
I think it's just you didn't see that aspect of it, but I feel like this is a very, very, very dangerous place for anybody to live.
Well, yeah. Which, I mean, I don't even know how that actual society exists, because even the farmers in the fields who are trying to grow food for the entire, country to survive on couldn't, for any given time, actually do anything because they would be being accosted by bandits or in the middle of a war.
Well, this is a time of upheaval, like the war for the throne, because, there's no solid person there.
Yeah. And everybody feels they're entitled to it.
Right. Winter is coming.
Mhm.
Daenerys, Mother of Dragons is coming. Although I don't, besides Tywin Lannister, the father, I don't feel like anyone's really taking it seriously.
Yeah.
She has 3 dragons, people. That ain't no
And
joke.
8,000 unsullied. Which
Yeah.
is huge.
And whatever else, the second sons, it's like 2,000 or 3,000 more people.
Right.
And
Yeah.
who knows
Which
how
she-
many people will be loyal to her when she gets there.
Yeah, the second son she just sent off to attack another town or something.
Yeah.
Right,
So,
to go
yeah.
free the slaves that had been re-enslaved by the masters. Yeah.
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 And kind of tell the masters, like, hey, two options. Either do it my way or...
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And here's a good example. The son of somebody whose
Yeah.
the father was killed because he was a master.
They crucified 160 odd, some of them. So,
Yeah. So up to you what you want to do. The dragons, though, actually like not attacked, but they snapped at.
The one did snap
Yeah,
at her.
the biggest
Yes,
one. That's the biggest one.
Snapped
Yeah.
at her. Yeah. When
And-
he was eating, going for a piece of food, and she went to do something with the piece of food.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
And yeah, he snapped at her. So.
Yeah, and so that is a little worrying.
Right.
I mean, how long is she going to actually be able to control these dragons? I mean, does she really control them?
I don't think so. I mean, it's like controlling a wild animal.
She already actually, I mean, she already actually said you can't put him on a leash to the
Right.
one guy that she ended up killing
yeah.
after she bought the Unsullied from him.
Right. Yeah.
That, by the way, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That scene was
Right.
amazing. Like the whole time he was talking and being an asshole to her,
And she could understand
and
him.
I
and
knew
pretended.
there was something. I was like, I'll bet that she knows what he's saying.
Yeah.
And like her advisors didn't know anything about it, and then suddenly it's like, I'm a badass and I'm going to burn you and just go ahead and take over here. So
Right.
thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See you later.
Yeah, she's
Scorchy
awesome
corpse.
too. I really like her character.
Yep. So any other least favorite character? Did you say your favorite? I mean, we talked about a bunch that we really like.
Arya and the Hound are some of my, like when their scenes right now in this part of the storyline are some of my favorites. Tyrion, always been a fan of Tyrion. Those are probably my favorites. Sansa being one of my least favorites. Just as a character, not like her personally, not like a Joffrey least favorite,
Right.
you know, where
Right.
they should die. I just want her to like get a backbone and like punch somebody in the throat, or, you know, she should have thrown her aunt down that.
I was actually afraid that she was going out the hole.
It was possible.
I did think that at first
I
too.
thought it was going to be her, and I was actually sort of afraid that the mother, I'm not sure who she is, but
Lisa.
Huh?
Lisa or Lissa or
yeah, something like that. That she was actually going to say to Peter, I'm not going to let you have her, and you're not getting me either, haha, and like
and both go.
both of them going out.
Yeah,
the
I
thing.
figured it. Like I was thinking as I was watching it the first time, it was going to be one of them or both of them were going down that hole.
Yeah,
That was happening.
Oh,
I didn't
yeah.
know exactly how it was going to happen, but something was happening.
Yeah.
Someone was going to get crashed on the rocks.
and that's why when Peter pulled her away, I was like, oh, it's her, like she's going, and that's why like when I was like he's gonna,
Yeah.
I was like yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, I didn't really like her either. Like I hated her character. Like I didn't like who she was.
Yeah, super crazy.
She
Well,
was really
yeah,
crazy. I don't do
extremely
well
weird.
with like super crazy characters either.
Well, and the first scene you ever see her in, her son is what, 12, and she's like breastfeeding
She's
him.
breastfeeding him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which-
In her court.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's kind of the way that entire world, like that sky castle or whatever, is set
The
up.
Vale.
It's really like absurd like
Yes.
that almost.
Yeah.
It's like highly I wouldn't say like not feminized, but it's like super matriarchal type thing. Like
Well, I think
really-
she's been in charge for a while, and
Yeah.
her crazy is oozed out, or was oozing out, because now Littlefinger's the king. of
yeah,
the Vale,
yeah,
or
because he was
whatever it
married
is.
to her and
Yeah.
she's now dead. So, and it's not like her son's got no backbone either. I mean,
No.
if there's any part of a, you were saying her going off and like punch somebody in the throat. She did actually smack him.
Yeah, but that's different.
Yeah, but
That's not what I'm talking about.
if there's anyone,
Because she was immediately like, "Oh my god, I don't believe I did it." Not like you deserved it. Cry, like she didn't like stand behind it. She did it, and then she was like, "Oh my god," It was reactionary, but it wasn't like there was no true
Conviction
intent
to
or
it.
follow through with it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever. You're a good actress, though, whoever you are.
oh yeah. I don't think that there's any real
I don't think there's anybody
who's really bad.
No.
The guy who plays Joffrey, though, I feel bad for him, or played Joffrey, because I bet he gets like hateful interactions with people all the time.
Yeah.
You know?
He reminded me a lot of Lucius Malfoy. I'm sorry, not Lucius.
Draco.
Draco Malfoy. Yeah, blonde hair,
Right.
like super high privileged.
Yeah.
Yeah,
whiny bitch.
But
type
even
thing.
but even Draco had some.
Draco was a
we're getting
Care
off
Bear
topic,
compared to
but
Joffrey.
yeah.
Well, right. I mean,
You know, he still had some scenes where he was like not sure if he should be doing what people were telling him to do or go follow his heart. With Joffrey, he was just his heart was black, so it didn't matter what.
well, he's a sociopath. Obviously, he was
Right.
a sociopath. He had no concept of
Right.
how someone else might feel.
But what
about
a
him.
great actor to be able to do that and have everyone hate you so much, so
Oh, yeah.
intensely.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that his grandfather, Tywin Lannister, didn't like put the kibosh on that.
Yeah, it's weird that it
Yeah.
had to be Tyrion that did anything. Like,
Yeah.
that
Right.
actually fought him at all.
Yeah.
You think that, I mean, given the general line that character follows, you think he would have not allowed that from an early age. You know what I mean? He would have stepped in early and often and firmly and drowned the little fucker if, nothing else worked,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
started working on the second grandson,
Yeah, and that's really irritating because when he came back from the war, and came back to Westeros or wherever, he chastises his daughter for not keeping Joffrey in control, and he doesn't really do much better. I mean, he does a little bit, but slightly better than she does. But the only person who actually showed any amount of like, you can't do this to anybody was Tyrion.
Yeah.
And now he's paying the price for it.
Right.
He really is.
Now he's gonna die soon.
I don't know.
I guess it really depends on what happens in this fight next week, but
Yeah. And I mean, if we'd read the books, we would know. That's kind of why I want to put off reading the books to a degree, so that,
so you don't know.
You don't know what's coming.
Right. Because I'm really enjoying the TV show. So, and the books will be there after.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Overall, though, I think it's a fantastic show. And I think this, along with The Walking Dead, and I think Sons of Anarchy, which I haven't really watched, have really opened up, like, dramatic television to being able to kill off characters.
Mm-hmm.
Because they do it with, like, no regrets.
Right.
And kind of whenever they want. Characters you love and adore, characters you hate, doesn't matter, somebody's dying today.
Yeah.
And I think it's really good for the modern drama because it takes out that level of certainty. Oh, they're all going to make it.
Right.
Everybody's going to make it.
But
It's
Walking
okay.
Dead's gotten away from that. Not to change off of and start talking about Walking Dead, but lately I feel like Walking Dead's gotten away from that too much.
Yeah, but we're in the first half of this season, and then the second. Well, they leave it off, and then when the next chunk starts,
Yeah.
I guarantee everyone in that trailer doesn't make it to the first 4 episodes.
You think everybody's dying in the trailer?
No, not everybody, but not everyone will survive.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Someone's
Yeah.
going to die.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. There's going to be some death. However, they just introduced more new characters just recently, and so.
Well, they have to keep right. filling the back row of characters so they can make people
But
step
they've been
up.
killing the back row of characters. Like they've been introducing them and then killing them.
Yeah.
They need to kill other people.
Well, you do, but to a certain degree, you do need to. I mean, in Game of Thrones, the people that die are already decided. It's already been written. It's
In
in
the books, right?
Yeah, and from what I understand, they're holding pretty steady to the
Yeah,
books.
because Walking Dead didn't do that. Walking
Right.
Dead doesn't do that.
So Walking Dead has the ability and the bonus, if you will, to still keep some select core characters, like Carl shouldn't die and Daryl shouldn't die, probably Carol, like some beloved characters. Because, like, if you kill Daryl, as an example, although this is way, way off topic, you're gonna lose a lot of your fan base.
Oh yeah, a lot of people like
You know,
Daryl.
and it's not worth it.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. So, but anyways, I'm glad you both watched it all and enjoyed it. You don't have to watch it in straight 37 hours.
In 5 days.
But if you haven't watched it and you have access to it, I definitely recommend giving it a start. It's good. It's good drama, well written, well acted, keep you on your toes.
It's got some big names in it too. Lots of people.
Yeah, I don't know if they're really. I mean, there are not a lot of actors and actresses that I knew well. Besides Peter Dinklage, oddly enough.
Who? That's
Tyrion.
Tyrion. Well, the one guy that played the Stark,
Ned Stark.
Yeah,
The
he was
father,
in.
yeah.
He was in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I mean, they've been in things,
Yeah,
but
Right.
like it's not like major actors. Working actors that you recognize, yes, there's plenty of those.
yeah, yes. So yeah, by all means, so take advantage. Try to find it. See if you've got friends who will let you come over and watch it on their HBO. Yeah. But we also want to know what you think. What are your favorite characters? What are your least favorite characters? Send us a message on Facebook, or you can email us.
Chastise us for not having read the books yet.
Yeah, indeed. Make fun of us for not knowing who wins this fight next week, or 2 days ago.
Nope. It'll be the...
No, yeah, because there's no show.
Oh, there's no show this week?
Right, yeah.
Especially for you, because you just like watch them all in a row.
We get like a Game
and
of
now
Thrones
you gotta
detox.
wait, you know.
Now we got it, yeah.
But by the time it plays, you'll be like, I'm so over that show. That was so 2 weeks ago. Can't even get up the energy.
No more. I'm done. It's all done. But yes, yeah, by all means, send us emails. Let us know. Blah, 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 blah. All those types of things.
StravaMax.com, Alex and the Anders.
Oh, man, we didn't do any of those.
We didn't. We did.
Well,
then.
you just did now,
Yeah.
but normally I do it at the beginning.
I know.
Yeah, sorry about that. Alex and the Anders.
I already
Strava
said that.
Max. Oh, sorry.
I said
He's
that
already
too.
done it.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
You're very
Yeah.
welcome.
Yeah,
Thanks for
really
having me.
appreciate it.
You're welcome.
So, Sequoia, if
Check
she
out
comes-
next week. See if she's even back.
Who knows? She might still be in the
I think
Antarctic.
she's podcasting with someone else.